say every relationship has their different thing going, but the one thing that is common, the one thing that is never going to change is the fact that every relationship is always going to have their ups and downs, and then love and trust should keep you. The truth is, the way love is there, it becomes a choice afterwards. If you've chosen to be committed to this person, you got to stay that way.
Now, by the grace of God, now. By the grace of God, that's the only secret I can say.
I think what comes to our mind before whenever we fight, we start our conversation like he always starts. I'm very upset with you. I will never ever leave you, but blah blah blah. And I do the same thing too. I love you. I will never leave you, but blah blah blah. And we fight. Bottom line is, no matter how much we fight, when I mean fight, I don't mean physical fight, verbal quarrel. We know that we are going to sleep in the same bed that night, regardless of.
So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. So in our last video, we discussed Two-Face's opinions as were shared in the podcast that he had with Nidu. The truth is that when that podcast aired, it wasn't a shockwave. It wasn't an earth-shattering breaking news that left everybody dumbfounded or speechless. It wasn't exactly the news of the Pope getting married. It was just Two-Face being Two-Face and talking like Two-Face. And it sure wasn't the first time that he had come out on national television to air such opinions. So yes, people reacted. There were conversations here and there, but it wasn't a surprise. Give it a day or two, it would have fizzled out. Besides, Two-Face had been in several scandals in the past. I mean, even more serious and more damaging scandals, like all the many children he had while in a relationship with Annie and all of those things. So scandals or people talking is not really new or news for him. And in all of these scandals, both past, present, and even maybe future, Two-Face had never come out to grant audience to the media or see the need to come online to explain himself or to issue a video apology for what he did or what he said. He usually just stayed quiet, presenting himself as that legend that he is called. So given all of these, it was quite strange for a lot of people to see Two-Face shortly after this podcast aired, taking onto social media to tender this apology for his utterances. Let us hear what he had to say.
Yo, man, I know I fucked up with what I said. I really fucked up with what I said. I know I'm going to get cancelled. I'm going to get cancelled for this. I know I'm going to pay the price, heavy price. I'm going to face the consequences. You know, I said what I said. I don't know whether I want maybe people understand my understanding, and I didn't say it appropriately. There's no excuse for it. You know, I own up to that. I own up to the fact that, yeah, I fucked about what I said. I hurt my fans. Millions of people that look up to me, millions of people that hold me in high esteem. You know, like friends and people that know me, they know that this is not me. You know, this is not me. You know, terribly sorry for allowing myself. How do I put it now? Riled up into saying nonsense. It's crazy. But one thing I know for sure is I'm sorry to my wife, the love of my life, Natasha. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's wonderful. smart. You know, I'm so sorry. And also to my kids, man. You know, beautiful young people. It's like they don't deserve this kind of thing that I put them into. You know, I'm two-faced DBR. I'm too baba. And I've been fortunate enough to have achieved a whole lot. I've been fortunate enough to have people look up to me. I've been fortunate enough to have people, you know, calling me a legend. It's an honor. You know, but this my talk was quite unlegendary. You know. It was unlegendary. And for me, man, I own up to my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I own up to my mistakes. I know I'm going to get cancelled. I'm going to pay the heavy consequence, heavy price. You know, but I just must express myself. Something that I thought would just, you know, Gen Z will look at it like cruise, or like to spark up something. But the amount of, you know, response that I get has let me see how much people love me, how much people love and respect me. You know, for me to not just use one stupid statement to cancel everything. That's not who I am. The people that know me know that that's not who I am. And they talk some guys to some guys, let's talk out. You know, I'm not cut out for interview shit. You know. My music speaks for me. My music speaks for me. You listen to my music, I know you'll be wondering, is this the same person that said this thing? Is that the same person that said this thing? I know. But hey, I fucked up with my statement, man. Fucked up with my statement. It is well.
When this video got out on social media, I do not know the aim of doing this video or the objective or what whoever he did it with was thinking that this would do or correct, but whatever it was, whatever the agenda Two-Face had doing this video, it achieved the direct opposite. This video got people even more reeled up, even more disturbingly curious as to what exactly is happening to this man. People were like, this is not normal. This is not the Two-Face that we used to know. He is looking so incoherent, so disorganized, shaky, no single atom of composure in view. They were like, what is going on with Two-Face Idibia? Well, it seemed like the social media family were not the only ones who were observing this weirdness in the recent conduct of Two-Face, especially in this apology video. His real family have also come out to express their bewilderment. His brother, his younger brother Charles Idibia, took to Instagram to make this post where he exposed a can of worms. Let us listen to what he had to say. To my dear official Tubaba, tagging him, there are not enough words in English to express how much I love you, so I won't even try. To the gentle, kind, loving, peaceful being, to the guy who would not intentionally hurt a fly, who would take losses in several businesses just to avoid any form of confrontations, who makes sure that everyone around is comfortable even though he's not all right, who gets mute and watches himself being painted as the bad guy just to protect the same person painting him as the bad guy. I hope that was not a shade. But let us continue. To the guy who I would dare to describe as the modern day Jesus Christ from Nigeria because of how innocent and pure your heart is. but you would also be crucified by religious standards to the most insanely talented musician that has ever graced my ears. I beg you today to wake up. It can never be a crime to save yourself, to move on from where you were almost losing your life and soul, but you haven't moved on. You have been captured. Captured from inside the frying pan to an industrial furnace. State capture. This is like capturing a wild animal and bringing it into the zoo. Okay. So my heart bleeds. Frying pan to industrial furnace. Who can interpret that idiom for me down in the comment section? It's all right. It's one thing for a girlfriend to snoop in your phone and read messages out of curiosity or for other relationship reasons. It can even come off as cute. But a girlfriend who breaks into your phone to announce your divorce because she had doubts about you going through with it. Who posts and deletes a picture of herself on socials and asks Nigerians to help you beg her to marry her while you sleep. A lot of ants and worms are coming out of this can. Who clones your WhatsApp, deletes messages that she doesn't like, and replies messages pretending to be you to steamroll her agenda. A control freak inside your emails and your accounts who convinces you to abandon your management and businesses in Lagos and move to Abuja just to become her arm candy and dragged all over Benin to places where the real you will definitely not go. Who would make you defend lies and tolerate chaos? Who would sabotage your business trips? Who would do a whole lot of rubbish I will not mention here out of shame and hide under your name? Who would adopt your surname, tell strangers and whoever cares to listen that she is your wife while you are still legally married? This is serious. A girlfriend who makes you eat your words from a podcast just because you didn't mention her name as she would have liked is not a girlfriend, but a psychotic fan. A cancerous leech who has come to slowly but steadily destroy you and your legacy, all in the name of love. You are in one of the episodes of those crime and investigation, love, passion, and murder you love to watch. And the victim at the end of the story is going to be you. How haven't you realized this? You are currently living in bondage. Today, being the 2nd of July, 2025, I beg you, bro, take a couple of months off alone. Get completely off social media and let the music and the businesses wait. Give yourself time to heal and reflect and really focus on what's important at this stage of your life. I beg you to do this in the name of whatever you still hold dear, in the name of your 7 lovely kids that would love to grow up with a healthy and happy father in future. You are a great chess player, and you know when it's time to step away from the chessboard and evaluate the game from an outside perspective. This is that time. Before it gets too late, it's time to become the real you again. This isn't you. All the suspicions have now been confirmed. Now, Two-Face's brother Charles was not the only one who voiced out in concern after that apology video made it out. Media personality Dotsu also had very similar things to say. In fact, so many people that knew Two-Face started this game, this business with him for over 2 decades, that know him in and out, have come out to express their worry, their concern at how this new Two-Face is acting completely differently from the two Baba that they are all accustomed to. They insist that something is wrong here. Ever since Two-Face announced that he was taking a divorce or getting a divorce from his wife and partner of over 23 years, Annie, and moved immediately into the embrace of Natasha Osawaro, a politician from Edo State.
Already now governor. Yes, okay, now deputy. Yes, confirm. Guess what? We win when? Despite the money when they carry for food, you don't go anywhere. And police don't see that one, no. When they share 10,000, 50,000, then don't say people like me get a video. Because I know say we go down for court.
There has been several observations by people that shows a very sharp change from the Two-Face that used to be with Annie. First and foremost, Two-Face has been moving around with these red and black marks, lines all over his face, which he has attributed to being a part of his spiritual roots and his spiritual connection as an African man. People asked, what did you think you were? Did you think you were an Asian man or a Hispanic or a Caucasian man? How come it is now immediately you moved on to this woman that you carry mark, tear for your body like zebra, say you be African man? Secondly, people found it a bit strange that Two-Face, who is a very successful artist, he's like that Chamo, like the one that holds the mantle of Nigerian entertainment industry, where upcoming newbies, modern day artists go and pay homage to him. Davido, Wizkid, all of them, they say that Two-Face was their motivation. You know, for such a heavyweight in the industry to leave Lagos State, that is the hub of entertainment in Nigeria, and move to Benin to start getting smoothed in Benin red sand, making appearance and taking shows and performances in local pubs. Today, Two-Face is performing in Ekeadolo Polytechnic. Next tomorrow, he is in Madame Osas Wine and Bar. A man who has graced the stages of MTV Base and BET and Channel O. People found it difficult to understand. I mean, look at him on a banner on the streets of Benin City that he's coming to perform at Natasha's second year in office celebration. That is strange. Thirdly, his family has come out. Several members of his family have taken to social media to distance themselves from this thing that Two-Face is doing with Natasha. Yes, there's a picture where Natasha and Two-Face's mother were together in a photograph, but that does not erase the fact that this man's mother still came out to cry that Natasha has spiritually bound her son, and her son is not himself.
Good evening, Nigerians. My name is Mrs. Rose Idibia. This message is for Miss Natasha Osawaro of Edo State. I'm calling on all mothers in Nigeria to help me beg her to release or to free my son. My son is going through a divorce process and he's clearly not in his right senses. I know my son. This is not him. Please, Natasha, the bead you put on his hand and on his neck, remove them and free him.
Ever since Two-Face and Annie were doing their brouhaha and basbos, Two-Face's mother never came out to social media to involve herself. But she came out to cry as though there is no other place for her to pour out her frustrations. So she had to come to social media. Even his brothers are referring to the lady as his girlfriend, meaning they do not know her. Even the so-called wedding that Two-Face said that he had, the so-called marriage, none of Two-Face's immediate family was in attendance. Another aspect that people consider a lot weird, that is very unlike Two-Face Idibia, has to do with his attitude around the press.
I don't really fear anybody. I don't really fear anything. I fear nothing. I don't really fear anybody. I don't really fear anything.
Talking, oversharing, apologizing, posting today and retracting tomorrow.
Good morning.
Mama, you don't question. I did my house. I arrange my things the way I want them. Do my things the way I want them. My principles, my laws, my house. I don't near your street. I don't near your house. I'll take the threat to you.
And for all these reasons, his fans have come out to cry out. And they have started the hashtag Free to Baba or Free to Face. You know, there's something I say that I put out there. I always say it is not everything that you can afford to do or that you can do that you must do or you should do. Many people watching me here can afford to order 2 boxes of double-decker pizzas with 3 double cheese burgers and 1 big liter of Orobo Pepsi or Orobo Coca-Cola. Finish it at a sitting and reorder tomorrow. But just because you can afford to do that, does that mean that you will do that? Even if you desire doing that, does that mean that you must do that or you should do that or you would do that? No. Why? Because it comes with implications. It has consequences. It has its downsides. It has disadvantages. So because you can afford it does not mean that you can afford to do it. I've counseled men on the dangers of just jumping into a marriage immediately after the end of one. Because women plenty, it is easy for men to move on. It is 1,000 women to a man. That is what the Bible said. Women, it is man can move on. Man can remarry under one week or one day. Just because you can do something does not mean that you should do that thing. You see, the end of a marriage is not just about the closing of a chapter. It's not just closing of a chapter or, like a book or a novel or the end of a movie. It involves unraveling, dismantling a shared future, shared dreams, trust, habits, identity. Oh yes, marriage is part of your identity. Your spouse is part of your identity. So the end of a marriage brings about an alteration of one's identity. And so jumping right into another marriage or another very serious commitment immediately after is like building a house on a shaky foundation. No matter how beautiful that house turns out, it will still crack. The whole building will crack under the weight of unresolved pain. When a marriage ends, a marriage is not boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. A marriage is something that you are in with that you entered into with the mindset that that's where you're going to die. So all your plans, all your projections, all your goals, all your dreams are geared towards that other person being with you. Children were born into that marriage. New lives were formed because that marriage happened. So it is not a game of chess. It is not a joke. So when something as serious as a marriage ends, you need to first calm down and reflect on what went wrong and learn from them. You need to unlearn unhealthy patterns that may have contributed to the end or the failure of that marriage. You need to rebuild your emotional and mental foundations, even spiritual foundations, because sometimes before a marriage ends, it will test all these 3. It will strain all these 3 to the maximum. Both your emotional state, your mental well-being, even your spiritual standing will have been strained and tested. You need to rebuild them. You need to pull yourself together and heal from both what you've done to that person and what that person has done to you. Because a broken heart can't truly love. That's the truth. Severally, I've told you guys on this channel that in law, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you do not have. If you're not full in love, if you do not have love, if you don't feel love for yourself in your heart, you cannot give it. And the wounded man cannot lead well. And when you are not healed and you rush and jump into another marriage, you'll find yourself bleeding on someone who was not responsible for cutting you. You become a baggage. And I'm talking to both men and women. We need to learn to be alone. The reason why several men and women find themselves in bad relationships is because they do not feel fulfilled and whole alone. They always feel like they have to be with somebody to complement them, to complete them. The value they place on themselves, the worth that they find in themselves is by being with somebody. They do not feel loved and desired and complete, perfect enough when they are alone. So that's why you see some ladies, within 1 year, they've dated 10 men because they cannot just stay alone. They can't find happiness on their own. So they keep jumping. Before you know it, you have dated more than 6 football team. Instead of holding on, pull yourself together. Check where you're getting it wrong. Build your state of mind. Be emotionally stable. So when you're coming into a relationship or a marriage, you're coming with value, you're coming whole, and you have enough to give. But rather, some people, immediately this one ends, the next week, bam, bam, bam. And if you notice, people like that, the relationships are always breaking because they're carrying baggage and trauma and going into the next one. Let us learn to find purpose, fulfillment, and happiness being alone. Realizing that being alone does not mean being lonely, because it is from that being alone that you'll be able to build yourself and then commit to a new relationship from a point of wholesomeness rather than woundedness. Because you cannot give what you do not have. Now, Two-Face Idibia here just got out of a marriage and a relationship that had lasted over 20 years. That is not a short time. That is not a joke. A child that gets married at 20 years, nobody will say that child is too young. And only 3 months after last being seen with this his wife, that he has dashed back her maiden name despite they are not legally divorced. Right? Just 3 months after they were last seen at Mabel Marco's mother's burial late last year. 3 months after they were last seen together, he has taken to social media to start proposing and shaking like palm tree. Yeah. And proposing to another woman, and now referring to that woman as his wife. It is very clear that this man is dealing with unprocessed grief, with unhealed wounds, identity shifts. He's dealing with confusion, or shall I say guilt, with the fear of loneliness, fear of being alone, being disguised or mistaken as love. And all these will tell in the output, the behavior, and the demeanor of the man. A marriage should not be a rehabilitation center. And rushing into a new marriage does not mean that you are ready. It could be that you are running away from guilt, running away from pain, running away from self-reflection. Unhealed wounds do not just disappear. Instead, they echo, and they would echo louder in the next union if they are not addressed first. For the love that we have for Two-Face, I believe that there are 2 things that he should do, and he should do fast. First is therapy. I do not think Two-Face has ever seen a therapist, or he has ever sought any professional help. He's a core bushman. He's a core Niger man. I don't think he believes in going to make himself vulnerable for any therapist or to any therapist. But if he does, he might eventually find out that he needs it, or he needed it. He needs to understand the role that he played in the way his marriage with Annie turned out. And he needs to take responsibility for those roles. Because from that podcast, it's almost like I can perceive that he doesn't understand that he has any fault. Because, he was talking about how he was living in bondage, how he never mentioned the possibility of what he did that could have made that marriage become a bondage. Rather, he justified the act of sleeping with everybody while being married to somebody as normalcy, and instead blamed women for their lack of ability to understand and accept it. He needs to make peace with both himself and that woman, because peace is not something that you go out finding. Are you aware? If you don't have peace, if you are not at peace, no matter where you go to, if you run to Canada, you run to America, you run to UK, that state of unrest will still follow you. Even if you date Kim Kardashian and Beyonce, you will not find peace, because peace starts with how you feel with yourself inside. Nobody can truly give you peace if you do not have peace. He needs to be more receptive to seeing life not just from the 4 corners of his beliefs, but from the expectations of others that he's in a committed relationship with. So instead of seeing life with that belief of, oh, man can do this, man can do that, he also has to see how that his belief may have hurt the person that he claims to love or the person that loves him. Because no faithful person truly accepts disloyalty. Most people that are very okay with unfaithful partners also have cockroaches in their cupboards and skeletons in their wardrobes. I was reading the other day, the son of the late activists, MKO Abiola, came out to say that, I'm not quoting the figures correctly here, okay, but something around the 80 children that my father has, we have done DNA. Is only, did he say 30 or so, that my father's true biological children. So I'm sure in the man's lifetime, he would have been claiming polygamy. Yes, as an African man, he didn't know that the player was being played too. You understand? Because in life, you cannot eat your cake and have it. No loyal partner appreciates a disloyal partner or an unfaithful partner. If you see a person accepting that, just know that she's in a position or he's in a position of helplessness. And if he or she has a choice, they will not like to be there. He needs to understand the role that he may have played in how that marriage eventually turned out to be that toxic place that he's saying he ran away from. You see, this case, just like the case of our brother, my best friend, Yole Duchi, it just shows that men may not be as strong, as firm as they might like to convince themselves that they are. Regardless of how big and powerful and wealthy and influential and mighty a man is, the kind of woman that he's with, even if the woman is an aunt, the kind of woman that he is with will eventually reflect on who he will become. And you can take that to the bank. Her energy, her self-respect or lack of it, her influence, her principles, her aura, her beliefs, it will eventually shape how that man will end up talking, walking, behaving, how he coordinates himself, how he reasons, how he is perceived, and even how he perceives himself. Dear men, shine your eye. It is clear that Two-Face's temperament, personality, and aura has completely changed since he went into this new marriage. And that persona that he has labored to build for well over 30 years is fast getting eroded. I honestly think that Two-Face needs rebranding. He needs to repackage himself. He needs to repackage his brand. Look at his wife. I'll call her his wife because they're not divorced. Look at his wife, Annie. From that rehab, she came out repackaged. Deleted everything that would bring controversy from her page, going for meaningful events, dressing well, speaking less, appearing where needed, coming with this new grace and aura. It's called branding. It didn't just happen overnight. I'm sure she has employed professionals to package her. Branding is important. It's not just about being yourself. You need to have as a public figure, there has to be a perception of what people have of you. And Two-Face is seriously lacking that now. He needs to be selective of where he appears, the shows that he takes up, what he posts and what he refrains from posting. Is not going to every canteen in Benin and Edo State to go and perform there.
Baby, no panic here. I be totally panic here. No panic here. I be total mechanic. I just want to make your phone a pleasure. I want to make your phone a pleasure. I just want to make your phone a pleasure. When I finish with you, I go be your vibrator mentor.
He needs to be careful about what he addresses, on where he follows his girlfriend, because the family said she's girlfriend, where he follows this Natasha Osawa route to. They can still be doing their dating or whatever, but he will give himself some prestige. Nobody is saying he should go back to Annie Idibia, but he needs to get a grip of himself. Because the truth is that this girl that is acting like she's all crazy about him, she's crazy about him because he's Two-Face. When he loses being Two-Face, then that's where he might see where the true position of her love lies. He needs professionals, both for his mental health and his branding. Because honestly, this new Two-Face is nothing like the Two-Face that everybody is used to. What are your thoughts? Let us hear them all down in the comment section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.